bed for Barbie without a mattress. Well, hello there and welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are doing well wherever you are in the world. I am back from yet another hiatus. Yeah, the summer has just been crazy. What can I say? Thank you so much for your patience as I took some time off. It was Labor Day weekend here in the United States, so I hope you had a lovely, relaxing vacation. Dennis and I were hoping to get away, but it never ended up happening. We couldn't find any last minute flights, so we ended up staying local. But you know, we got some more stuff done around the house, and you know, I got my craft done, and it was all good. But yeah, it's good to be back sitting down chatting with you. Although, just a little heads up, next week we are indeed going away on vacation, so I might not record again until the following week. If you've been with this channel for quite some time, you know summers are a little tricky for me, so we do the best that we can here. But you know, I'm sure you're equally busy and you've got a lot going on, so you won't even notice that I'm gone. Anyway, coffee. Oh, I'm trying to think if there are any more announcements, but I think we're all covered. But yes, if you are a returning viewer, welcome back. If you are a new viewer, welcome. Yes, welcome to this little corner of the internet where I chat about what I've been making, primarily knitting. We've been doing a lot of quilting here, and oh my goodness, this week, we've got another rabbit hole that I'm diving down. So, if that is your jam, gather around, grab a cup of something, and let's get into things. Elephants in the room. Oh my goodness, I feel like it's been quite some time since I've had a segment where I chat about what Margot the mannequin's been wearing. Clearly, I have not been wearing any knitwear because it is... Oh, today it's very cool. It's 64 degrees Fahrenheit. Winter is coming. It is finally coming. But it has been very, very hot here in New York. Where I'm hailing from, and yeah, just wearing the knits is just not, it's not gonna happen. But Margot, on the other hand, my lovely assistant, always runs cold. So today she is modeling my Birds of a Feather shawl. That is a pattern by Andrea Mowry, and I knit this using my hand-dyed yarns, Voolenvine yarns, using my Nouveau base, which is a single-ply superwash merino, and Ghost lace, which is a obviously lace-weight silk mohair blend, dyed in my I Am No Bird colorway, which has been inspired by Jane Eyre, one of my favorite Gothic novels of all time. And many of you ask me what my favorite colorway is that I dye, and that is it, my friends. I Am No Bird. And you know, the name I Am No Bird along with Birds of a Feather, I just thought the two names, you know, the pattern and the colorway went hand in hand. I could not resist. So here we are. We've got a Birds of a Feather shawl. And I don't know if you can tell, but I'm playing around with some lighting options in the background. I've jumbled things up yet again in my background, but you know, we're playing around, we're experimenting, seeing what works, what doesn't work. I got a lamp, a practical light back there to add a little pop, whatever you want to call it. That was more like a fart. I say this about all of my knits, but truly, this is one of my favorite makes to date. And yes, once the weather cools down, she's gonna get a lot of wear. So, yeah, that concludes our Elephants in the Room segment. Let's mosey along into what I've been working on. All right, first up on the docket today, we have my Travel Mode 2.0 shawl. This is a pattern by Susanne Sommer, also known as So Sue Knits. And yes, oh my gosh, guys, this is growing. It's growing exponentially, and yeah. I cannot get enough of this pattern. I don't know if you can tell, but yeah. I feel like I was somewhere around ballpark here when I showed it to you last, and it's just, I've just been knitting away on it, knitting, and I am at the midway point of this shawl, and I cannot put it down. Lots of chevrons and lots of garter stitch. Miles and miles, dare I say. And yeah, this has just been holding my attention so well, and I think it's because I've been in a little bit of a knitting rut or slump, and you know, again, this is nothing new. I go through waves of it. It comes and it goes, but even though I've been working on things, namely this and some other projects, I've been dabbling in a lot of things. I haven't really felt inspired. I really haven't felt motivated to work on anything, and stuff like this just allows me to go on autopilot and, you know, keep my hands busy, which which is good, you know, but, and you know, it's okay. Like, I'm allowing myself to feel this way because it happens. It's part of the creative process, and I just happen to be going through another slump. And you know, I feel like that's the time, whenever you feel like you're in a slump, that's the time when I just allow myself to be. I allow myself to play. I allow myself to experiment. I feel like I'm getting ahead of myself here because I want to talk about something else later. But, you know, for the most part, I feel like this has been keeping me sane just because it allows me to go on autopilot, and it allows me to keep my hands busy, and, you know, allows me to, you know, just marinate, if you will. It allows my brain to marinate. You know, while I have projects marinating, sometimes the old ticker up here needs to take a time out and, you know, just be, you know, am I making any sense? But anyway, that's what this project has been for me in the past couple of weeks, and I am so here for it. I am actually hosting a knit along for this project over in our private Facebook group. So just a quickie plug, if you enjoy this channel and you want to support what I do here, feel free to become a member by clicking the join button down below this video or on the main channel page. By doing that, if you choose the A Cup of Something tier or higher, you can gain bonus features such as my weekly bonus vlog. I call it the Monday Waffle, just a casual vlog catching you up on, you know, what I got up to over the weekend, my creative process and behind the scenes stuff. And then you will also get an invite to our private Facebook group where you can chat with other members, share what you're working on, see what other people are working on, because, you know, the community tab and, you know, the comments down below, it's a one-way street. So I can show you what I'm working on, but I can't see what you're working on. So the Facebook group is a great place for that, and also a safe place for us to do giveaways. If you recall, recently I tried doing a regular giveaway here, and the trolls just descended. There was like spam, and it was a mess. So in order for me to safely host these giveaways, I have to do it in a safe place, like a private Facebook group. But it's a really wonderful place to be. And, you know, if you want to partake in the knit along and chat with other members and me, we're all hanging out in the Facebook group. Click the join button, consider subscribing. It's just the price of a monthly fancy schmancy cup of coffee. Anyway, it's a really fun place to be. And shameless self-promotion. So anyway, yes, that is where I am with my Travel Mode 2.0 by Sosu Knits. The colorways that I'm using is a medley of Voolenvine yarns on my, again, Nouveau base, held together with Ghost Lace. So same as the Birds of a Feather shawl, I'm just holding two strands of, I'm holding one strand of Nouveau and one strand of Ghost Lace together in the colorways. Let me see. This colorway right here is Weep, which is a shaded solid gray. And then we have Courtesan, easily one of my favorite peachy pink colors, also held together with Courtesan Ghost Lace. And then we have Succulents, a colorway I haven't dyed in quite some time. Probably should bring it back at some point. And then we have Tiptoe. And then this colorway over here, this is not my hand-dyed yarn. This is yarn by Wobble Gobble Yarns, and the colorway is called Old Fence. And holy cow, guys, I love it. It's just so, like, teals and orange together. It's, yeah, here for it. And then for this colorway and also Succulents, I'm holding it together with a strand of Ito Sensei in the goat colorway, some leftover yarn that I had from my ranunculus. So yeah, it's just a nice stash buster, if you will. Very, very relaxing, very chill, mindless autopilot knit. It's wonderful. All right, next up, I think I need to get a bigger project bag for this project, because this little itty bitty bag cannot hold it anymore. But, you know, we're just gonna shove it in there. Shove it in there, as you do, because you can do that with knitting. Do you remember what was in this project bag? I'll give you a minute to guess or try to remember. Last episode I pulled all of my whips, all of my UFOs out from hiding, and I went through each one and talked about whether or not I was going to finish them or just rip them out. And this project in particular, I was just like, no, I have to finish this because I want this in my wardrobe so badly, and it's crazy that I haven't finished it. But living in this project bag is my Nightingale by Norah Gaughn. Yes, she's back in action, and I've been making quite a bit of progress on her. Very, 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 very excited about that. So yeah, we are indeed on Sleeve Island. We've made it to Sleeve Island, and I'll get to that in a minute. But first, I do want to share The back was finished, so that's the part that I shared on the last episode. I mean, Norah Gaughn, what a genius. She's a queen. I think, yeah, just so incredibly talented and just a genius when it comes to cable work. So this was the back. That was already done. That was finished 2 years ago. And then I had more than half of the front finished. So that's where I picked up from. So I removed the stitch marker from where I picked up, but it was somewhere around here that I picked up from and finished. So this is the front, and very, very similar to the back. It just has some neck shaping and armhole shaping. But I will stand up so you can see what it's going to look like. Yeah, my gosh, guys. It is just so... I can't even. The one snafu I don't know if it's going to be that big of a deal, because I didn't realize it until I was looking at other projects on Ravelry that I realized I made a boo-boo. And I don't know if you can even tell, but you see these twisted stitches, twisted ribs all along the armhole right here, and it's on the side too. There were some decreases that were supposed to be made, and increases, and I think part of this was supposed to be knit in stockinette, and I just continued in pattern. And yeah, if you look at, let me see, this pattern is actually from Pom Pom Quarterly. This was back from 2018, issue 7, and this entire issue was edited, guest edited by Norah Gaughn, and just an absolutely beautiful issue. I mean, so many beautiful, stunning projects. So I'm looking at yeah, here you go. They have a really good photo here, and I don't know how well you're going to be able to see it, but where is it? Yeah, right here. You can tell that this part right here is all in stockinette, and I knit it in the twisted rib. That means if I really want to, I have to rip all the way back. I mean, I could drop down stitches, but I know it's gonna, because they're twisted rib, it's gonna mess up my gauge up here, and it's just better if I rip all the way out to like over here again, pretty much to where I started, and redo it. Guys think? What do you guys think? I know in hindsight, it's not going to bother me. I mean, again, I did not realize that I messed up until I checked out the photos, but I don't know. I really don't know if it's worth me ripping out, or, you know, it's just a design feature. I don't think it's going to mess with the end all be all. Yeah. Again, I'm going to let it marinate. I'm going to think about it. 9 out of 10, that means I'm going to rip it out. But, you know, this may have taken me about like 2.5 days to complete, so it's not that big of a deal, and I do have more yarn in my stash if I need to do that, so it's not the end of the world. But anyway, finished the front and the back, and then we went on to Sleeve Island. The initial plan was to knit the sleeves simultaneously, so I cast on one, finished the cuff ribbing, and then I cast on the other. And then I just kept going. I didn't stop. I didn't, you know, I was like, whatever, I'll just knit 2 sleeves. They don't have to be 2 at a time. And 9 out of 10, for me, I feel like the second sleeve goes a lot faster than the first. I'm very close to shaping the cap of the sleeve with this one. So yeah, it's just, again, it's all just ribbing and knitting in patterns. So I'm happy to report it's not a slog. I don't have to focus on what my hands are doing all the time. You know, I can watch YouTube videos, I can watch TV while I'm doing it. It's very relaxing. So yeah, this is just gonna fly. The one thing that I talked about on the Monday Waffle, my weekly bonus vlog for members, is that this whole thing is knit in pieces, and I can't remember the last pattern that I knit in pieces. I think it might have been the Stonecutter pullover by Michele Wang, where I had to sew all the pieces together. You know, not my favorite thing in the world to do, but you know, for this project, I think, you know, whatever. It's a labor of love, that's for sure. But anyway, so yay, Sleeve Island. We have a couple of hiccups here and there, but we're getting it done. We're getting it done, my friends. So yeah, I'm trying to think what else I want to say about it. The yarn. Oh yes, you're probably wondering, Kristen, what is the yarn that you're using? I have the tag right here. This is by Quince & Co. It's their Lark base, which is 100% American wool, worsted weight, and it's the Damson colorway. So this is the tag. Yeah, Quince & Co. is just really, really lovely yarn to work with. And again, this color, be still my heart. It screams Kristen. I mean, it's just, it's like my favorite color is mauve. And, when it comes to mauve, there's a whole spectrum. There's a whole mauve rainbow out there. So there's not one just specific color shade of mauve. There are many, and this one I feel like is a gray mauve. It just airs on the side of like a dark, cool gray mauve. It's just so, love it, love it, love it so much. That is my Nightingale by Norah Gaughn, and very, very happy to have her back in action, and yeah. So anyway, next up, those are all the projects that I've been actively working on since I last chatted with you. But as far as quilting goes, quilting, that seems to have been taking a back seat in recent weeks. I don't know what's up with that, but yeah, I started a new quilt, which I won't talk about right now, but I really haven't felt motivated to work on it. Again, I've been in a creative slump. I just haven't felt like working on much of anything other than what I've been working on. So when that happens, I find the best course of action is just to let myself feel that way. I don't try to fight it, because when you do that, it just causes so much frustration. And this is supposed to be fun. All of this is supposed to bring you joy, happiness, and you're just supposed to have fun. So I allow myself to feel bored. I allow myself to feel unmotivated. And one thing that I found myself doing was taking myself on what I like to call an artist date. If you're not familiar with The Artist Way by Julia Cameron, it's a classic book on creativity. Highly recommend it. But, there are two things in there that she talks about, to like kind of spur your creativity. One of them is probably the most popular thing that you've probably already heard about, are morning pages, where you just take 20 minutes every morning and just do a brain dump. Just write everything that's on your mind. It doesn't have to be grammatically correct. It can just be brain spew on paper. Just get it out of your head. But then she also talks about taking yourself on artist dates. And I love this idea so much. And ever since I got an e-bike, just because I still don't have my driver's license, I'm working on it, guys. I'm working on it. But I did get an e-bike to help me get from A to B, do grocery shopping. I love this thing so much. And it's allowed me or enabled me to just get out, instead of just being stuck here and, going on walks around the block. I can actually go out. I can go, bike to a park. I can bike to a shop. And I've just been taking myself on these artist dates, just, either biking to the park, or lately, it's been Michael's because I've been in such a creative funk that I'm like, you know what, let's go to Michael's and just see what's there. If you're not familiar, Michael's is one of these big box craft stores, and they have it all. They have it all. So, I'm like, let me just go to Michael's, see what they have, and, just peruse the aisles and see what calls out to me. And going there, I knew that I was, kind of maybe thinking about, getting some paint to start painting again. So, I loaded up my cart with some paints and some brushes, and, just kept browsing and browsing. And then something at the corner of my eye, I was like, what is that? And I look on the bottom of a shelf, and I see this, it looks like a toy almost, and I'll show you here. It's one of these things. It's a Beadsmith by LoomEEZ. It's a Japanese bead loom kit. This looks like it could be a lot of fun. And, for $15, I was like, this is interesting. Let's take it home and see what happens. So, it was like the past couple of weeks, I've just been feeling kind of dead inside, I don't want to work on anything. But I saw this and I was like, I want to work on this. I want to play with this. So that was a good sign. And I picked it up, brought it home, and I made one. And I had so much fun doing it. I mean, this is what it looks like. It looks like a little Barbie bed, if you want to call it, bed for Barbie without a mattress. I don't know, but, I set it up, and lo and behold, I made a bracelet, guys. It is so fun. And this is very, very similar to, if you're not familiar with macrame. When I did macrame, I was at summer camp and just, on the bus rides there and back, you just get, embroidery floss, and you just tie little knots, and you make these really beautiful, colorful friendship bracelets. This is very similar, except it's with beads, and you're weaving. You're using a loom. and it was just so relaxing and meditative, and it's like knitting a pair of self-striping socks. Just one more row, just one more row, just one more row of beads, and I'm hooked. I'm hooked. Yeah, I mean, what do you know? The kit only came with enough beads to make one, and the beads that the kit came with are by a company called Mayuki, and they're beautiful. I mean, look how smooth. They're just so smooth and so shiny and very uniform. I mean, it's just so pretty. They are pretty, but they are a little on the pricey side. So I'm thinking before I invest in, you know, some very fancy schmancy beads, let's see what else is out there. So I did a little more research, and someone from our Facebook group actually recommended Tomo beads. Where the Miyuki beads are more cylinder shaped, the Tomo beads are more round, but still very comparable. And, you know, again, just, you know, there's so many beads out there, but the Tomo beads are also, you know, usable. So I went back to Michael's the next day, and, you know, Amazon and buy these tube clasps to finish it off. And, you know, while this did, I want to say, take me about 4 hours to make, it was definitely, you know, addicting. Like, I just could not stop weaving in another row. It was just, I just wanted to see this pattern grow out of my loom. So yeah, you know, while this is really pretty, I just can't wear it because look look how big it is. And this is a pattern that I found off of Etsy. It was what is it? She has a whole array or a catalog of loom weaving patterns in PDF form. So, you know, if you are interested, I will link to her Etsy shop down below. But I would, like, her patterns are very, for the bracelets, at least this one is just very, very long. So anyway, I don't know, maybe I can extend this and make it into a choker or something. I don't know, collar for Bella, not that she wears collars. Because while I was working on this one, I was running out of real estate on the loom, because, you know, with this loom, you can't really adjust the length or anything. You're kind of stuck with what you have here. So they do make other looms, and they're not, believe it or not, they're not expensive at all. Like, again, this one, the whole kit was like $15 US, and then the one that I got on Amazon was about $12 US. And that one, this one that came yesterday, as you can see, I've already started another project on here, and this pattern is from the same Etsy shop. And again, these are Tomo beads. They're, I want to say, like a matte brass colorway and a shimmery gold. So I think it has like this really cool effect. And yeah, I started this yesterday afternoon, and I think I'm more than halfway done with it. So fun. Anyway, yeah, I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. And that's always a good thing here. So yeah, anyway, bead weaving. What else do I want to say about it other than we'll see where it goes. Yeah, but super fun, and, you know, definitely, you know, yeah, when I get into a creative slump, there's nothing like it where I'm just like, I just don't know what to work on. And when you find something that's exciting and, you know, piques your interest and makes you curious, it's like a party, guys. I can't explain it. But anyway, yay, loom beading, whatever, loom weave beading, I don't even know what you call it. Bead weaving on a loom, I guess that's what you call it. But anyway, that said, I think I'm gonna end things there. As always, for hanging out with me. If you're new here and haven't already, feel free to like and subscribe down below. I'm putting out videos for your viewing pleasure most weeks. The summer has been a little crazy, as I mentioned. And again, I'm probably going to skip next week as well. But I will be back the following with another episode for you. And until then, have an amazing weekend, and I will see you next time. Bye.